So I just want to welcome everybody to Healthy Seminars and our lecture today. It's the Year of the Pig, so the topic is saving your bacon and basically getting ready for the Year of the Pig. No better time. This is our first webinar of 2019, so it's actually quite appropriate that the lecture today is going to be about working with the energies of the Year of Pig. So how do you become your happy, most successful, healthy self in 2019? I want to be a big shout out to my colleague and friend, Susan Fox, who introduced me to Kathleen. Kathleen, she's a business Feng Shui Master. She's dedicated to helping conscious business and individuals harness the power of the ancient wisdom of classical Feng Shui and Chinese metaphysics to optimize their success in business and life. And I really think there's a paradigm shift where we're getting into this whole idea of using the quantum level of thinking, getting to the field, and Chinese medicine, this metaphysics, the Taoism, has so much to offer. So I'm actually quite excited to hear what you're going to have to say today, Kathleen, because here in 2019, it seems to be people are hungry for this and wanting to understand more about the quantum level versus the Newtonian idea that we've lived by for so long. My name is Lauren Brown. I'm a doctor of Chinese medicine. I practice in Vancouver, British Columbia. It's called, in Canada, called AcuBalance Wellness Center, and I'm your moderator. So what's going to happen is I'm going to do a brief intro here to our friend Kathleen. Then she's going to lecture for about 45 minutes. Post your questions. If you're watching this as the live interactive version, post your questions in that chat room. And we're going to collect those questions. And then at the end of her lecture, which should be about 45 minutes, we'll take a good 10 to 15 minutes to moderate those to Kathleen so she can answer some of your specific questions. If you didn't do so, you can do so now. We mentioned that you can put in your name and your birth date and the time of date to get your own little chart. I did that. I thought it was quite fascinating. So that will help you as you go along with your lecture. The website for that is freebusinessastrology.com. So you can do that and learn more. So Kathleen, she specializes in business feng shui, astrology, and good timing, and uses these tools to empower her clients to follow their unique birth map, optimize their physical workspace, and use their greatest strengths at the right times and achieve their personal and business goals to craft their destiny. She has several advanced degrees in classical feng shui and Chinese metaphysics from top-level teachers around the world. She has studied and taught in the United States, Malaysia, China, Tibet, India, and England, and now all over the world via Healthy Seminars, because this is streaming everywhere. And again, a big thank you, a big heartfelt gratitude to my colleague, my fellow of the American Board of Oriental Reproductive Medicine, Susan Fox, for bringing us together, introducing Kathleen, and that's why we all have access to her. So without further ado, let's start Kathleen's lecture.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathleen Zemansky. I am a Feng Shui Master, astrologer, as well as a favorable timing expert. And today, Dr. Lauren Brown has invited me to be on a webinar with you so I can help you prepare for the Year of the Pig. So I'm just going to minimize myself over here, pull myself off to the side, make myself a little bit smaller, and let's just dive in. So first thing I want you to know is that this is a very mini version of getting ready for the Year of the Pig. I actually have an annual event every year where I talk about the annual astrology, feng shui, and TimeBlazr, and some other energy work as well. But I'm only able to give you just a little snippet of it, and then I'll tell you a little bit later on how you can learn more about this if you are interested. Okay? All right. And let's see if I can get rid of that screen up there. All right. Well, first of all, we are very close to the Year of the Pig, and every year around February the 4th, keep moving that out of the way, we end up having the energy shift, and there's this big shift that happens all around the world. And this is where new astrology pieces come into play, new feng shui pieces come into play, as well as timing. And in feng shui, everything is about timing. And I also want to let you know, if you don't already know this, that Feng Shui, astrology, and timing, which I call the TimeBlazr based on the Chinese calendar, is on the exact same systems that you guys are using all the time as well. So it is about looking at yin and yang. It's also looking at chi flow. We look at the 5 elements. So some of the things I'm going to be talking about are going to be actually very normal for you to be listening to. So let's go through the 12 animals. What I've decided to do is just give you a little snippet. I'm going to show you a little bit about the TimeBlazr and why you'd want to even think about using that system, as well as I'm going to probably talk a little bit more about health, because I think that's really good for what you guys are showing up for today. So let's get started, okay? But before you do, what I'd like you to do is download this chart. You should have already had this URL, but if you didn't, you want to download freebusinessastrology.com. You're just going to have to fill in the blank, the name, your date and time of birth. If you don't know your time of birth right off the top of your head, don't worry about it. You can always go back and listen to this as a replay, but you really want to find out what that hour of birth is if you know. Some of you may not, because you've either been adopted, they didn't record the records where you live, or your parents just don't remember, or anyone does remember. But what we're going to be talking about when I talk about the animals today, the only thing we're going to talk about, and the only thing I have time to talk about today, is going to be your natal chart, your year, month, day, and hour of birth. And just so you know really quickly what those mean is your year of birth, that's about your social circles. That's about your expansion in the marketplace, your capacity to expand in the marketplace. Are these animals going to help you this year or not? We're not going to get too much into that, but I do want to tell you what these pillars mean. The month of birth is about your career, how ambitious you are, your character. Is that going to be the same, even keeled, or is it going to shift a little because some of these animals are encouraging you to do other things this year? Then the day of birth, this is the absolute most important part of your chart. This is about you. It's going to be about your home life, your partnerships, let's just say partnership, spouse, if you will. And then your hour of birth, whoops, that went a little bit too fast. Your hour of birth is, again, you may not know your hour of birth, but if you can go back and find on that birth certificate, that would be a good first start, or, a member of your family. Your life purpose. In other words, what is your legacy? Are you in a legacy building part? My mouse is so sensitive here. And it's also your capacity to make decisions. So your career is about the money you make, but what do you do with the money that you have? So as you can see, this is pretty important. It also has some very important pieces about your family, but we're going to have to skip that one for today as well. All right, so the TimeBlazr, which I'm going to interweave into this presentation today with the astrology, is it is basically a system to have you do the right action at the right time. So as you know, as acupuncturists or in the wellness industry, if you're following Dr. Lauren's community, you do know that, there's seasonal timing. There's the right time to maybe administer certain protocols, and there would other times of the year, like cleanses and things like that. Well, the TimeBlazr is the same. It's about doing important activities. It's maybe about launching campaigns. It's about when do you feel your best and all of that. Again, we're just going to give you just a little snippet of that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with the pig because it is the year of the pig. Now, the year of the pig has some really nice favorable animal energies going for it this year. So what I would like to also have you note as I'm going through this presentation, I'm trying to get rid of this bar, I don't have where to put it, okay, is that November always is going to be the pig month. Now, it goes in a little bit more detail than that, but as you can see, a real kind of simple way of looking at this is that the green dates are going to have a little bit more vibrant energy, and that, this is where you might want to launch a campaign or run a special or things like that. So, but basically what you have going for you this year is you have this great capacity to solve some lingering problems that may have haunted you in the past, but you're going to finally find a resolution for this. So what you may want to do is you may have to look a little bit inward, do a little reflection. Again, I think I can talk to this crowd without any hesitation. I'm sure you're all quite aware of the yin side of yourself, of going in and looking just a little bit. You also have this energy that's going to put you in the limelight. So it depends on where this pig is showing up in your chart. Even if you have a pig, you may or may not, but just keep listening, because there's going to be other reasons why you're going to want to listen to this all the way through, not just for the animal I'm talking about, the energies. So this is also a great learning year for you. So if you have maybe an upper level course that you want to look into, this would be a great one for you to look into. All right, as far as health, there are going to be some health issues, but pretty much it's going to be brought on by yourself. So it's mostly stress related. So finding a good stress management protocol, whether it be Qigong, yoga, giving yourself some needles or having some administered. I don't know if you can do that legally. Anyway, so you want to get your stress under control, basically, is what you want to do. And then, as I said, this is the month of November, so it's good for pigs, and it's also good for tigers. There's many other animals that it's going to be good for too, and the other ones I need you to watch out for as well, but that's about as far as I can go. So I'm looking at the combination of the animals and the TimeBlazr as looking at it as kind of like a keto, no? Like if we have this force that's coming against us, we want to just move away and let it pass. And then we want to redirect it how we want to be using that energy. Okay, so that's what you're going to want to do for the pigs. Now let's move on to the rats. Okay, the rats has some really good helpful people this year, especially from a male. So that there's going to be some energies that are going to benefit more female or male in the upcoming year, and the rat is one of them. So if you're looking for a coach, a mentor, or just help and assistance in any way, you might find more from the male energy, the yang energy, which a lot of females actually take on that energy as well. I'll let you make that call. But basically, that's where you're going to find your most help this year. And you have an absolutely wonderful obstacle dissolving energy this year. So pretty much whatever comes your way, it kind of like just illuminates and just like, oh, that's the solution. And then you can move on to other things. So as far as health for you this year, I would say the only thing you really need to worry about is maybe that little cold and flu. Obviously you're seeing patients most of the time, or clients, however you want to call your group and community, that they're coming to you probably sick, acute sick as well. So just protect yourself. I'm sure you know all of the good things to do as far as that as well. And so the month of December is always when the rat is. And so a very good friend of the rat is the goat. So any goat and rat would be very beneficial if you have any of those animals in the year, month, day, or hour. That's where you can find a lot of good relief by using these good green days. All right, let's move on to the ox. Now, the ox only has one good energy. And by the way, when I'm going through these, I'll go through them much more in depth at my annual event. And there's also some unstable energies that we have to watch out for this year. But let's just keep this fun and exciting about what's coming your way. So anyway, so what you have to look forward to is a really good advisor is going to come into your life. That could mean anything. It could be financial advisor, a health advisor. It could be even a good therapist, if you will, if like for couples or your personal growth. It has all of those things that for you to learn something about yourself, that you can handle situations better and possibly even pass this on to your clients as well. So that's something that you should be actually looking out for. And then, you're just going to have, this nice benevolence around you this year. All right. So as far as health this year, you really actually need to pay more attention to being accident prone. I see a lot of people walking around with their phones and texting and walking, texting and driving. hopefully you're not within that category. I'd be extra careful this year and maybe get a little extra insurance, car insurance for that, or, you know, that kind of thing where, watch out for trip hazards, like watch all your cords and all of that to see how those are set up, because that's really what's going to be most prevalent for you this year. And then as far as the TimeBlazr is concerned, it's the month of January, usually a pretty benevolent month. It's the end actually of any year of. So we're, talking about the year of the pig. This is the last month of the year of the dog. And it sounds like it's going to go out a little bit kicking from what I've been talking with some of my clients. So this is a good time to use the TimeBlazr. Use good dates to avoid some of those pitfalls. Okay. All right. Now look at the tiger. The tiger has 3 good energies this year. And the tiger has this wonderful learning, if you will, as well. And it's also very good for female helpers. So someone that might be, you might be looking for in your networks, or somebody who has more of that effeminate energy. Again, just like women can take on very yang, there are males that take on that yin. And then of course, what we're trying to do is find that balance. But you're going to find that most favorable help when you're looking at the female mentors in your life. Could be a mentor, could be a coach, advisor, things like that. And then it's also good to start thinking about networking up. So when I speak about, you've got good connections about as far as networking, you might as well take advantage of it, because when the energies are here, use them. And then when they drift off, then that's when, you don't have, if they're not going to come as easy to you with these energies, if you will. Okay, so again, the tigers are going to probably deal with more stress-related issues. So again, using some of that same protocol that we talked about before, getting your body in flow. Now, you could do this, meditation, walking, swimming, again, some of those martial arts like Qigong, even yoga, those kinds of things to help you get in the flow. But I also want to have you take note of the year or the month of February. Now, the month of February, as you can see, it is actually kind of low energy. I always look at the month of February as kind of giving birth. You have just given birth to this baby. You've just given birth to this new year. And so, which is going to be starting February 3rd, 4th of the year. So we want to make sure that we have ourselves well equipped for some of the unstable energies. So just like a mother, she may not know, unless it's her, second or third or whatever child, she may not know how to deal with the crying baby and the hungry baby and all the routines that have not yet been set in stone yet. So that comes further on in the year as far as the TimeBlazr as well. We're just getting to know the year and getting to know the new energies, all the new directions, and how we need to act from this year to next. So, but you've got the tiger astrologically that will help you to get some of these things done. So look for those female helpers to help you along the way. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, the pig, so the pig will have the most help along with the tigers this year in the month of February. Let me mention also in the TimeBlazr, you're only seeing one little portion of it. And so there's also day details. And so every 12 days, there's going to be because it follows a repeatable pattern. Everything in Chinese metaphysics follows a repeatable pattern. So every 12 days, there's going to be a tiger day, a rabbit, a dragon, etc. They'll just keep going around in the circle. Every 12 hours, there's a different time slot as well. So beyond what we can talk about today, but I just wanted to let you know that, you can go into the day details and find a specific day. Even on some of these days that don't have a green on it, we can still get some good stuff happening for us. Okay, the rabbit, we've got 3 good energies helping them along the way. I'm going to give you just a couple right now. Basically, what you are able to do is ask good questions. So when you ask a good question, what do you get? Great answers, right? So be very specific about some of the questions that you're going to be asking and the people that you're going to be encountering this year. And it can definitely help usher in some very good things for you. And, you know, money-wise, you could ask for a raise, you could raise your rates, market value. Let's not obviously get greedy, but it will definitely help with that. But it will also help you get answers to things that you may have not been able to get in the past. So again, this reflective state of getting in that more yin state to help you find, to craft and get, you know, because sometimes we only have one opportunity to get in front of people, right? So ask the good questions. And then you have really good energy that will connect you. What's really nice as you're building your practice, or maybe even the practice that you already have, is connecting people with the right things that they need. So you're going to start drawing in some nice people and resources into your life this year. So this is really good to have in your toolkit, if you will. So for health this year, the rabbits really don't have too much to work on. So you would be in the case of that more preventative. So, you know, do all the things that you probably always do for your good health, and tell your clients to do for their good health. And you should experience quite a good year for you overall. But remember, you've got probably 2 or 3. Now, there's some people that might have 3 of the same animal in that natal chart, and so you only have to look at those 2 animals, but where do they show up? Remember, we talked about whether it be the year, month, day, or hour. Worth listening to the replay on that if you need to hear a repeat on that. So as we can see, still spring, but it looks like we're getting a little bit more green in those TimeBlazr days to help you out. And the dogs are also very favored for the month of March. They're best friends. When I say those 2 animals together that I've been saying all along, that means you have animals in your chart or through your friends, your colleagues, which, by the way, I would run everybody's chart that you know, even your clients, because then you can kind of figure out what's going to be happening with them too, and like kind of what's up with them. So this is a real good way to understand them, especially when we have some of the energies that are a little bit unstable, which I'm not going to really cover in the webinar today. That will be more for the full event. All right, let's move on to the dragon. Now, the dragon probably felt kind of beat up last year with the year of the dog, because that was what we call a clash animal. And the clash animal is, you know, we can pretty much expect, we know it's coming, and there's going to be certain months in which it will be a little bit more trying. So, you know, last year it was the dog and the dragon that were fighting, and so this was a month that we really had to use the TimeBlazr. But this year we don't have to worry about it, because the dog is just about out of our sphere. So what we have for the dragons this year is that you're going to find that you're going to have really supportive relationships. There's going to be some good mentors that come along your way. And it's also a good year if you've been kind of holding back on letting something go, as in forgiving somebody, forgiving yourself, kind of just like opening up that space when you let it go. Just imagine how much you think about something that you feel is important and no one cares about it, especially the person that might have done something to you. Again, you know, you've heard this before. It's not about condoning what somebody did to you. It's about accepting it and allowing it to let go, so you can open up space for more of what you've been taking up that space for. So this is a great year to find resolution in a problem that may have subsided for quite some time. And if you don't have that, then if any problems come along the way during the year, they should be pretty easily resolved. So I'm not going to talk about relationships as far as all of the animals I do at my annual event is a good or bad year, but I can't help tell you that the dragons, and maybe because the dragons kind of had a punching bag last year with the dog, you have the true relationship energy visiting you in 2019. So what that means is it could be a personal relationship, it could be a professional relationship. It just means that all of a sudden you're going to become that law of attraction magnet that people just want to be around you. You just seem to know it all, have it all, charisma, whether you have it or not, it's just the universe supports you. So again, when the universe says yes, just open the door and walk right through it. So good luck on your relationships this year. And by the way, I'd love to hear back from you on some of these things that are coming into fruition for you. So again, this is very good for networking. If you need to build a network, as if you're just starting out in your practice, or if you'd like to build a better clientele, maybe you have a certain niche in your market that you'd like to open up, this is a great use of this relationship energy as well. All right, so as far as health, truthfully yourself, you don't have to worry too much about, but if you have male elder people in your life, you may just want to watch over them a little bit more and make sure that they understand. I'm telling you, the things that I hear lately about, you know, going to doctors and hospitals and all the things that you need to like keep in your head, because it's not just one person anymore. It's like, you know, you got like a team of, you know, 10 plus people that are taking care of you, and you need to keep that all straight. And if you are the person that is maybe not the well one, then, you know, it's hard to retain all that. So if you have an male elder member of the family, you may want to, you know, go to the doctor visits, or, you know, with technology today, there's a lot of different ways in which you can visit your healthcare providers. So that's what you need to watch out for. And the best friend for the dragon is the rooster. So the roosters and the dragon, the month of April, are going to be really great for you. All right, let's move on to the snake. The snake, the biggest thing that the snake has going for them this year is travel. It's one of the 4 travel animals. There are tigers, snakes, pigs, and monkeys. But this year, along with your regular travel energy that is already in your chart by birth, you also have the extra boost. So if you don't have your passport ready, I would get it ready, because you are going to find you're going to be meeting interesting people. The last thing I would do, I don't have them with me, is put earbuds in your ear, dive into, you know, some movie or a book or something like that, and not converse with people around you. Try to be a little bit social when you're traveling this year, because there's opportunities abound. Now, another way that this can be beneficial to you is you might be doing commerce, as in you might have a product or a program or a service that, like, this is a service, and I have an international clientele. So when the iron strikes, you certainly want to capitalize on that. So it is about moving across borders, either physically with your body or moving your work in some way. And by traveling, you can also find some new clients along the way. And you don't have to travel internationally for that either, by the way. All right, and then for the TimeBlazr, the month of May is the snake. And the most favorable animal for the snake is going to be the monkeys. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the horse. The horse has for the last 3 or 4 years, if some of you have been following me, I know a couple of you on the webinar have, but if you've been following me, you know that the horse has been riding like the wind. So we don't know how long that's going to last, but it really actually started out a couple of years ago, where you had this big project potentially land in your lap. And if you did something with it, at this point, you have probably progressed into some pretty good benevolence. So this is where you've got available to you this year. And I'm just going to talk about a couple of them. You have extreme good fortune. So this is about having power, authority. You're going to have the right people, the right teams. You just have to ask for it and go after it. So you may have to get out of your comfort zone. I actually have one of my clients who's been sitting on this horse and just kind of like not ready to make a move. And I hear that she's finally going to make the move this year. So I really want you to not lose this energy, because this one is a great one. And I really want you to make the best out of the year. So there's going to be a lot of success, happiness, and all of that that's going to go along with this. Now, if you have an asset, whether it be property, intellectual property, investments, things like that, they should also appreciated value. Now, if you don't really have anything going for you, you can try to get something started at the beginning of the year, and obviously launch it on a good date and time. But there are some good opportunities for growth as far as your IP and assets, and as far as that's all concerned. So look for those opportunities because they're out there. Just be discerning about what you choose, because sometimes so much comes our way, we get kind of paralyzed on which are the right ones to choose. Okay, so the horse, as you can see, the energy keeps building as the year builds as well. And we've got a lot of green in the horse. And so the best friend of the horse is the goat. And then if, there's, like I said, I'll be talking about some of the animals that clash at my big event. So you can use that calendar a little bit easier as well. Okay, let's move on to the goat. Now the goat just has one energy, but you might like it, I think. It's about being very creative. So if you have a goat in your chart and you ever thought about writing a book or creating a program, doing it really creative, that you're gonna stand out in the crowd, because let's face it, there's a lot of noise out there. So if we can really make sure that we do something a little bit unique, so that our unique selling position, our USP really stands out, one of the ways you can do it is be creative. Also think about gamification. Gamification is a way that you can get people to be interactive, like we have Fitbits and all these different things. I've been seeing this time of year, all these different challenges. That's called gamification. So do a challenge, do it a couple of times a year. Again, do it on the right date and the right time. But this is where I feel you can really make some headway, and that is by doing something creative this year. So the force is with you, so why don't you use it? Okay, now as far as health for the goats, we want to avoid high-risk activities. So that means extreme sports. And what might be high risk for me, running is high risk for me. I like to walk, but I'm not going to run a marathon or something like that. My body's just not built for it. It doesn't interest me. So it would be an extreme sport and cause a lot of fatigue and probably wear and tear on my body. So I wouldn't do that. So if you've never rock climbed before, bungee jump before, maybe not the year to embrace that. Maybe wait for another year, because we do have, and then also watch out for driving your car. So metal related accidents is what is the thing that we will be looking for. So what you can do is a couple of things. And as an acupuncturist, if most of you are acupuncturists, which I'm assuming you are, give yourself a little needle and prick some blood. That's what we want to do, is we want to release that blood, because then we can fulfill. So really we want to release a lot of blood. Maybe an acupuncture needle isn't going to do the trick. So you may want to give a blood panel. We should be doing that annually anyway. Do it at the beginning of the year to get the most coverage. So it's kind of like your flu shot, if you will, for metal related accidents. So hopefully you'll heed that. You can either donate or give blood as well to lower your risks. So the TimeBlazr in the month of July, this is, just at the end of summer, which we say in Feng Shui, it's like bridging from summer into fall, going into those metal months. And so the horse is the animal that will combine with the goat to be best friends. So those are the ones who can most benefit from the goat month. All right, let's move on to the monkey. The monkey, this is the first, which we consider the first month of metal for us. So we're just going into early fall. And so of all the animals in the zodiac this year, the monkeys definitely have the most energy going with it, but it doesn't go without problems either. But I do want to say, and I can't emphasize this enough, the monkeys have had the fur pulled out of them for the last couple of years. So this is a year, I'm not saying you can just sit back and ride on your laurels. When the energy's with you, build something from it. So when those years do come back where we have the instability in this animal, then you'll be able to bear some of it. If you already go into it already worn down and beat up, that's not going to help you. Remember, we're trying to build our chi by using these animals in the proper way. Okay, so what we have a lot of money actually for the monkeys this year. Pretty much what's in your mind is also going to be a good indication of what you are going to be able to bring about. So that's really what I want you to work on this year is your mindset, because if you want to build like X new clients into your practice or X type of clients into your practice, or a program that you want to offer your patients that, oh my gosh, if they just did this, then we will have some great transformation. So that's what I really want you to look at. And if you need some help with that, there is indications that you're going to find a good mentor, coach, or advisor as well this year to help you figure out like maybe your best positioning and things like that. Don't do it alone. That if there's anything I can tell any of you out there, there's so many resources out there for us to be better practitioners, better people, better partners, better employers, better whatever. There's so many tools out there. Why waste time doing it all your own when there's so much help out there? This year you got the help, so I hope you use it to the max. All right, so for the health this year, pretty much I'm going to expect some definitely good health for the monkeys. But the thing that I would really watch out for the most is a lot of people are going to be attracted to you, coming to you because you're just going to be kind of like playing at your full throttle. That is, if you choose to, because the energy is here for you, but what are you going to do with it, right? So what I would say is, since you're going to be attracted to a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to hug you and you know, because they're just in so much gratitude to you, right? So this is going to be a year that you're going to have to watch your stress level, but I'd also say that you're going to have to watch crowd hygiene. This is a term that I'm using right now because I am around a lot of people myself all the time. And so what I would say is wash your hands like a surgeon. So already being in the healthcare sector, you know that, but passing that on to your clients is also pretty important as well. And then at least in the Western world, instead of giving the handshake anymore, because this is germ city, is at least a lot of guys are doing the fist bump thing. I haven't figured out how to do it with a female kind of fist bump thing, because I need to do this as well with the monkey that I have in my chart. So anyway, that got a little tip on that one. I would love to hear it. So give me your feedback on that. So back to the TimeBlazr, again, pretty full month as far as lots of things going for the monkey, lots of good opportunities there. And then the most favorite animal is going to be the snake. The snake and the monkey are best friends. All right, let's move on to the rooster. Now the rooster has one energy with it, and it's actually one of my favorite energies. I am a lifelong learner. So for me, if someone says, hey, you get to take off a year and study, I'd be like, woo, I would be totally amazed with it, which it's not going to happen. I don't know if you have the liberty to take the sabbatical. If you do, great. But if you don't, carve out time in your calendar, TimeBlazr probably, to make time for study. Your wisdom may not pay off immediately, obviously, when you first got your practitioner license, degree, certification. You didn't know everything that you knew 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years down. And if you're new to this, you probably know that. It's like driving the car. When I got my driver's license, I didn't know how to drive. They legally let me get behind the wheel, and then I had to, like, over time figure it out. Every once in a while I have an accident, so obviously there's always room for improvement. So here's where I would say that the rooster has the most usage this year is getting to know about something on a deeper level. And here's another thing. I don't know about any of you, but I, again, lifelong learner, I've taken online courses, in-person courses. I have manuals. I have recordings. I have notes. And just taking that and compiling it, oh my Lord, just think how much you can give back and transform if you actually put some of that into practice. Sometimes we go to these things back after back, and then we don't even have time to study it or put it into practice. So that's what you have going for you this year, and hopefully it will be a good one. All right. So as far as the roosters are concerned, as far as health, they also need to kind of be careful for accidents, accident-prone stuff, especially on the road, that texting while driving and distraction of, there's so many things. Like on my car, it's like I feel like I'm in a airplane cockpit or something. There's so many like gadgets anymore that are so distracting. So try not to just kind of shut those down and pay attention to the road, and you will be a lot better off. Okay. And then the month of September is the rooster month, and the best friend to the rooster is the dragon. So lots of opportunities there. All right, now we've gone all the way around the zodiac. Here's the last one. It's for the dog. The dog has one really favorable element this year, energy this year, and it is about happiness. So no matter what problems are going to come your way, it does seem like you're just going to have this sort of happiness energy that is following you around. So that's actually quite good. So if you're the type of person that takes everything a little bit too seriously and you have a dog in your chart, you have an opportunity, and it might be learning to have some fun in your life. So find activities that either used to make fun or you think would be fun, and go out and pursue those so that you can find some happiness in your life. Before I skip on to that next one, my mouse accidentally. Look at the green in that month of October. It is beautiful, right? So the best friend to the dog is the rabbit. So you may have noticed that I've talked about, 6 of these animals before, and then they show up again throughout the year. And then, like I said, there are day details in there, as well as I'm going to talk about the clash animals and other helpers along the way at my annual event. And then the dog and rabbit are best friends. Not sure if I really mentioned that or not. Okay, so we finished the animals. Again, you want to download your chart, freebusinessastrology.com, to get that astrology chart, and then just kind of go through and look at everyone that is in your sphere of influence, so that you can have an understanding of how people operate, be more understanding what might be coming their way, and happy and celebrate some of the good stuff that is also coming their way. So I use this with all of my clients before I go into any project. I always look to see what's happening in a person, either annually or long-term. And this is just the short-term. Short-term, by the way, this is the reason I do it. Short-term annual is for quick results. So I'm going to talk about the Feng Shui, but actually this is the 2018 Feng Shui dial. And the reason that I'm going to be doing that is there's going to be some, and we don't have time to go into the full dial, but I just want you to take a screenshot of this or a snapshot of it. And the reason why, pretty much where you see the green, that means great energy in 2018. Where you see the red, that means it was danger. If you had some problems, and you can kind of look back and see if you did any like renovations, moved into a house that was north facing, or any renovations in the dog or the dragon, basically that's where some problems may have started. So what we try to do with this Feng Shui dial is to avoid that. So I'm going to be revealing my 2019 compass at my annual event, but here's what I want you to start thinking about. If your office is set up where you have energy like a desk, you have your bed, if you're looking at your home space, because this goes both for home and office, or those two spaces basically. The snake, which is these degrees right here, and the goat, which are these degrees right here. Basically, all of the Southwest is going to have the red zone, which means no renovations. You're not going to be wanting to move big, heavy pieces of furniture. You're going to want to do that before the year starts, February. We're going to want to do that on like February 3rd or before. And I'll be giving some good dates at my annual event of when that would be. But this is where I think this is going to be helpful for you. Do you have your main like desk? Like right now, I'm in the Southwest sector. And the next time you see me, hopefully, after the first of the year, I will no longer be in the Southwest because it will be harmful to my career, my finances, my health, my relationships, etc. I don't want the problem. If I know that I can divert it, why not get away from it? So I'm going to dodge it and get out when the getting's good. And the getting's good is in January. And the same is going to go for the snake. And so the Northeast is going to be actually okay, but we're going to switch directions. It's going to be in a different area, and the North is going to be beautiful. The South is going to be beautiful. So I'm going to tell you all about that, those specific directions. But the reason I'm telling you this now is I really want you to make a plan to get out of this direction. And even if you've only rented one suite, take this dial and put it over the suite. And then you may have to just shift your desk to another position in the room, or your table where you treat your patients and things like that, because we want them to benefit the most. Although don't worry about them being in there for an hour. It's you day after day that I want to protect and have you have the most use from the day. Most use from the energy. And this is just showing you really quick over a floor plan, what it would look like. So I will, show you how to, at my annual event, how to take the compass reading. But, as you can see, we would want to get out of this area and then maybe move, over into this east room would be, a possible good place that we could put put this particular person for next year. So this is the 2018 dial, 2019 dial coming very, very soon. All right. So we talked about the animals. We talked about the TimeBlazr. We talked about the Feng Shui for 2018, because we still have a month to use these great energies. And I want you to use those really to the best. And then what we'll talk about at my annual event, if you are so inclined to come to the event, I have two opportunities for you. And for Dr. Lauren Brown's community, I want to give you a little bit of a break. My event is a week from today's recording, which is January the 12th, and it's a full day event. So I realize if you're listening to it live stream, wow, that's a long day to be online, but it's going to be worth it. I'm going to go into deep, all of the 12 animals. Some of it will be a little bit of a repeat, but good, because you'll be that much more ahead. But I'm also going to go into what are some of the unstable energies, what are some of the clash animals that you need to be looking about. I'm going to go over the Feng Shui dial for 2019, as well as I'm going to show you how to take a compass reading so you know how to get that dial over your floor plan. And then, of course, I'm going to go deeper into the TimeBlazr. So for the live event, if you are here local, love to have you here in person. And we are going to do that event at $47. And so what you need to do is go to this bit.ly/earthpig, and it is case sensitive. So please put that in case sensitive and put in this code where it says promo code, put in 2019 LB. If you want to live stream, then looks like I put $46, and I think I can do better than that. When I talk to you in a little bit, we can give you a little bit better code there. And so again, same exact, well, it's not exact, it's bit.ly pig live stream, because I have to send you a link for you to get that live stream code, and it will be the code 2019 live LB. So it needs to go just exactly like that. So this is from the year of the dog, but in this you'll get, as a live streamer, you'll get this as a PDF to fill in all of the blanks and all of that. And the year of the pig is coming very soon. It's going to print next week. So anyway, it was great talking to you today.